after the news broke that the mass shooter involved in the Covenant Religious School in Tennessee, identified as a transgender man, but you ended up having the worst people in the world coming out to immediately steer the conversation away from common sense gun reforms to banning transgender care. Gender affirming care. Because, that apparently is the main problem in this country. In fact, on Monday, here's what Marjorie Greene had tweeted. How much hormones like testosterone and medications for mental illness was the transgender Nashville school shooter taking? Everyone can stop blaming guns now. Stupid.
No.
She's literally out there making the argument of, well, guns don't kill people. Hormones kill people. What? By the way, gender affirming care just doesn't mean just hormones or surgeries. It also, especially when you're talking about younger children, you're actually talking about things like just allowing people to do gender expression, like wear the kinds of clothes that conform to their gender identity, changing their name, growing out their hair, using pronouns, all that stuff. It's not until when you get into the teen years, then you start to have, more of a thing like involving with, hormones and things like that. But anyway, no. It's not guns. It's hormones. The hormones are killing people, everybody. It's the hormones. Really. Now, first off, we don't have any information whether Hale, and that is, of course, the shooter, was taking any sort of hormones to begin with. In this case, he would be taking testosterone. We also don't know if he had been taking any medication for mental illness. As far as I'm concerned, both of those things are a distraction. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's a distraction. But anyway, nonetheless, science, I'm going to give you a little bit of a science lesson in case you're not clear why it doesn't matter about these, if this person had been taking hormones or not. So did you know that people who are assigned female at birth actually do produce testosterone? The ovaries produce testosterone. Not only that, but it's created in several different places. The ovaries create it. The adrenal gland creates it, as well as various peripheral tissues. Yes, so women's bodies do contain testosterone. Now, obviously, they produce smaller amounts of it than someone who is assigned male at birth, of course. But nonetheless, the ovaries do what they do produce in testosterone actually comprises about 50% of the testosterone levels of the female body. Combined with estrogen, testosterone helps with the growth, maintenance, and repair of a woman's reproductive tissues, bone mass, and human behaviors, including sex drive. So now, that's why when women have hysterectomies, they're often advised to take hormone supplements, both estrogen and testosterone, to deal with issues related to the removal of the gonads, basically, which again is in males it's the testes, in females, of course, it is the ovaries that release these hormones. Okay, so now some of the symptoms of not having these right types of hormones are actually things like sexual dysfunction, fatigue, moodiness, and decreased muscle mass. Okay? So even if he was, and this is why it applies, taking hormones to bring his testosterone levels to that of the average male, that would have nothing to do with being involved in a mass shooting. That, I mean, there's... How do these even apply? Look, the average man, by the way, does not fly into a testosterone fueled rage and murder people. It just doesn't happen. Okay. And by the way, if you believe that, like the tiniest amount of testosterone introduced into somebody assigned female at birth would, somehow throw them into a murderous rage. It's just completely unscientific. And by the way, the idea that men are also, like, because we have testosterone, are somehow, one step away from being violent murder machines is deeply misandrist. Now, that said, it is true that young, generally white, let's be real, males are overrepresented in the United States as being mass shooters. And I think the causes of that do need to be addressed. And I think they're more social causes than psychological causes. I mean, you do have issues like high rates of male loneliness, radicalization online. I think those things are connected. You also have, of course, patriarchal norms. Yes, patriarchy hurts men. It really does. And the availability of weapons above everything else. Not hormones, and certainly not gender affirming care. Those are not factors that lead to mass shootings. So now, one response here came from Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, going after Marjorie Greene. Here's what she told The Independent about Greene's comments. It's absolutely disgusting, and she should be looking into a mirror as to why she's defending and posing with the same weapons that are being used to kill children, teachers, and educators. They all, by the way, do this. I think we've all seen, like, the Boberts doing these, poses where they're arming their children with, like, high-powered, weapons and posing for the camera. I mean, for me, it just seems like a whole lot of LARPing that's going on here in the right wing. Oh, no, look at us. We gotta go. We're playing revolutionary. It's Ralph Wiggum. I'm a militiaman. It's just ridiculous. And I wonder where we're getting this weird gun culture from. I don't quite understand. No, look, the gun is unfortunately part of her identity, and actually part of the image that she is selling to her voters. And unfortunately, that image really is something that she cares about more than anything, like protecting children. Now, Greene, in response to this, doubled down, and she said this: "It's not about their identity, really. It's the questions or this, or this is what kind of hormones are they on? What kind of medications are they taking for mental illness? Oh my God. What is causing this aggression in this biological female who identifies as a male for them to go in and murder children? But these are the important things. It's important because what will testosterone do to a biological woman? She's taking tons of testosterone trying to make herself look like a man." Wow. Look, as I noted before, we do not know if he was taking testosterone, if he had been transitioning. And by the way, one source who spoke to the Daily Beast on Tuesday said that Hale's transition was a relatively recent development, which means that there's very high likelihood that he didn't even try to access gender-affirming care. Not only that, but it appears that many trans men do not undergo hormone replacement therapy at all for various reasons. Again, I don't have enough data on that. Now, that source also, and this is relating to what Greene was saying about mental, healthcare or whatever, is that source said that Hale had been autistic. Now, look, autistic people are not inherently violent. And so I don't know how this would apply here. It's another distraction is what it is. Greene is not only being deeply anti-trans, but we're used to that, but she's also being incredibly ableist. No, it's not. It's not the hormones. It's not the autism. I don't know what it is. But the point is, what are we going to do to, prevent someone from getting these weapons? That's the important thing. Look, what Greene is trying to do is distract people. She wants everyone to change the conversation, and to see what's going on here, what had happened, and think trans bad. That's all. That this feeds into their entire culture war narrative. Despite the fact that, of course, it's not the transgender community that is, or the autistic community that is attacking and doing these massive, school shootings. It's not any particular community, but it does tend to be overrepresented by young, white, sometimes radicalized men. A lot of them right-wing. I mean, we've had a lot of white nationalist, white supremacist mass shooters in this country. Look, so now, the other thing, getting back to the mental health point, notice how a lot of this is, mental illness. See, we've got an issue. It's mentally ill people. Well, for one, no. Secondly, okay, if you actually cared about mental illness, then why are you refusing to fund programs that would help people with actual mental illnesses get help for that? Why would you be against making, some of these medications and therapies, why would you be against making them more accessible for people to help deal with mental illness? Because that's what they're doing. They're against all of these ways to increase access to care. And on top of it, they also try to ban gender-affirming care, which overwhelmingly helps trans people. So no health care, including mental health care, no gender-affirming care, but the one thing they can get is apparently gun care. That's what it is. So you see, they don't have a health care program. They have a gun care program. And that's what it is. I finally figured it out. The right wing believes in socialism for guns. That's what it is. We're going to be the
in Venezuela
of guns. That's it. Gun socialism. Guns for all. Guns for everyone. Always more guns. Look, here's the thing about Marjorie Greene. Fear, anger towards the other, violence, that is ultimately what drives her. And for Greene, again, that is the only thing you really need to know about her style of politics.